The concert band lyrical etude for bass clarinet is especially challenging. You have a lot of low notes, but also really high notes. So off the top, let's just get that over with, which is the high C sharp. You're probably wondering how to play the high C sharp. I would say for this one, I would finger it like this. So it's like a high C with the register key and thumb, and then with your right hand, you're going to press these two keys, the bottom two trill keys right here. And that's going to come out a lot easier than the regular fingering that's for a high C sharp. So you have to be able to use both, but in this instance, I would just say just learn to do it with this side high C sharp fingering. And as for just getting ease in the upper register, just keep focusing on airstream. Really think narrow and fast airstream. A good exercise to do is hissing. If you can make this sound on like a he, try to get that kind of intensity of air when you're playing, well, anything, but especially in the upper register on the bass clarinet. And you can almost do that while fingering the notes. By the way, you have a lot of articulated notes that are legato, so you'll see these confusing signs that have dots and slurs. So what that means is just very legato tongue. Think D, 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 instead of staccato being, if staccato is dit, 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 then legato tongue is D, 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 D. The air remains constant. You don't ever change the air when you're tonguing legato. And one last thing, this is in 12/8, which can be a bit confusing to think about, but really, every beat has 3/8 notes. And there's 4 beats in a measure. That's what 12/8 means. So when you practice this, I would actually suggest you practice it with a metronome, but also subdividing it yourself by just tonguing 8th notes in the long notes. So instead of D, 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 actually try playing D, 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 D. Sorry, I'm not a singer. But that way you can actually get used to the subdividing in your head, because if you're tonguing everything in 8th notes, that's effectively what you're doing. You're subdividing with your tonguing. And then once you get comfortable at doing that, and then try playing it as written without subdividing with your tonguing, but keep that in your head and keep that going in your head all the time. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3. For this concert band technical etude for bass clarinet, it's important to first start this etude by practicing slow and easy. And what I mean by slow and easy is so slow that you can't possibly make a note mistake. You could play it in your sleep because it's that slow. And then from that tempo, just inch it up bit by bit. If you have a metronome app, just maybe 5 BPM up at a time. Don't skip any steps, because that's when we start learning bad habits. So practice doesn't make perfect, actually. You might have heard that. No, perfect practice makes perfect. So if you practice it from slow to fast with such gradual tempo changes upwards, then you'll have had learned this etude without any bad habits. Bad habits are really hard to fix later on, so it's important to just learn all the good ones and try not to learn the bad ones at all. One other thing I might suggest for this is practicing awkward pairs of notes. So let's say, like, if you're not used to using the left hand C, and you have to use that a couple times because you have to go to the E flat. Maybe just trill them. Go back and forth between left hand C and right hand E flat over and over again so that you just get used to it. Same thing for there's a, let's see, a high F to A flat. That can be pretty not legato sometimes. So just get used to that sensation of moving the fingers together.